Hey, what's going on, everybody? Shavi Zane here. Thank you for joining me for another discussion for the 144,000, those of you that are the chosen seeds. At this time, pretty much most of us know who we are by now, okay? It's a very strong time in awakening. I wanted to come on to discuss, first of all, a dream that I had last night because I'm finding that I'm having a lot more vivid dreams, and I'm not sure if you all can attest to going through the same thing or receiving similar messages. I did have someone that posted in regards to one of my last readings and told me how he had a very similar dream to mine. So I feel that we're starting to receive very similar messages, the 144, the chosen seeds. And so this definitely might resonate with you all. If it does, please be sure to comment below. Feel free or to like and subscribe to my channel. I would love to see you all back here again. So I want to go ahead and get into the dream that I had last night. So this dream, I feel like I was actually put into this dream to watch myself in terms of how I used to be, but almost as if I was given another chance to handle the situations differently based on what I know now, based on who I am now. So let me tell you how this went. So I have a ex, okay, who I had a very bad relationship with. And in the dream, he and I was out, we was at a restaurant, and a woman walked up to him and she, started talking to him, in very masculine energy. She was like, what did she say? She was like, what's up, nigga? Where you been? Where you been at, motherfucker? That's the type of energy that she had, okay? And so he got up and he hugged her, but it was a very lustful hug that he gave her. Now, in real life, y'all, I've dealt with these type of situations with this particular person. And but going back to the dream, this woman, she walked up, she hugged him, and she acted like it was platonic relationship, but it was very clear from the body language that there was something more that was taking place between the two of them. And she was saying, nigga, I ain't seen you in a minute. Where you been at, motherfucker? And so he had this little chess cat type grin on his face. And so I looked at her, and I was like, well, I am his wife. You can acknowledge me as well. And her first words to me was, "Oh, you don't have to worry. You're not second best to anybody." That's what she said. And so in the dream, I was very mature in my response. I was like, well, I'm already well aware of that. I simply wanted you to acknowledge me out of respect because you're here hugging on him, but yet you have yet to acknowledge the fact that I am sitting here. And I said the same thing to him. Now I got up, I left the room. Okay, everybody. It was a lot of people in the restaurant, so they started clapping for me because I guess I handled it so well. Okay, now, like I said, in this dream, I was being given the opportunity to handle these situations the way that I would today with the knowledge that I have now. And so I got up and I left. And I ended up going to a pizza restaurant. I'm like, let me just go get some pizza because I was just really upset. Let me go get some pizza. So I walked into this restaurant. The guy, he was carrying a whole bunch of pizzas, and every last one of them was falling out of his hands. Like, he in this muscle shirt, holding these pizzas, couldn't even hold the pizzas together. So I ended up jumping in, swooping under, and catching one of the pizzas. And so I was like, I started trying to give him a pep talk, like, I understand you having a bad day. You just have to try to balance out your energy. It's going to be okay. He literally got mad at me and told me, who do I think I am for trying to school him or coach him on something. I think the guy, he might have been Italian. He looked like he was a white guy, but he was very offended that I was trying to give him advice on how to maintain his own balance. And so he pretty much told me he refused to sell me the pizza, first of all. That's how mad he was that I was balanced in my energy, and here he was chaotic and all over the place. He was very offended by that, and so he refused to sell me the pizza, but at that point I didn't want to buy it anyway. So okay, I left the pizza restaurant. Now, this is two scenarios in one day. So clearly my day was not going so well, but I was still in an energy of staying balanced enough to try to motivate and encourage someone else who did not appreciate it, okay? It was very much so in his ego. And I think right before I left out, I told him, I said, you know, your ego is what actually keeps you in a position that you're in right now. It's time for you to release the ego. And so, you know, he didn't hear what I had to say because he just wanted me out of his restaurant. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I get into my car, get ready to drive off, and I was in another state, okay, because I knew this because I recognized that my license plate was different from everyone else's, and the roads were very different in terms of how to drive them. So I got into my car, started to pull off, and I ended up in a ditch, okay? Ended up in a ditch. The police was in the middle of the street. They jumped up. One of the police officers, he got out of the car and he started cursing me out, telling me how much of a stupid idiot I was and how much of a bad driver I was. And somehow, even though I fell into a ditch, I ended up inside of a trailer park. And every last one of them came out and was calling me a dumb idiot and was laughing at me, okay? And so, okay, after all of that, I went back to my home. This is where I ended up having a mild confrontation with the ex, who was in real life my ex. He came into the house, you know, and he was trying to be confrontational with me. And I remember thinking, it's crazy because being in the dream, I remember some of the things that he had done to me in real life, okay, in the 3D. And so I was thinking, you know, like, man, he's not going to come in here. He's not going to apologize out of all the things that he put me through. And I knew that if I allowed him to get too amped up, because at this point he was in defense mode because he knew he was caught. If I allowed him to get too amped up, he was going to become physically abusive. And so I ended up leaving the room to go and call the police because I could already feel the energy heightening. Okay. While I was gone, I called the police. They came. He ended up running out right before the police got there. And I knew before he left that he had stolen my debit card because that was something that he was infamous for doing in real life. He would take my money and he would leave. He would go spend it, you know, on whatever, alcohol, different things of that nature. Okay. I was in a very bad relationship. And so in this dream, I felt it hurt my heart. Oh, and there was another scene after this happened. I ended up in another scene where I was at a party. I know this is long-winded, y'all, but I got to get this out because this is going to lead to something. At this party, I was pretty much a spectator at this party, and everybody was there getting super drunk, getting low. The dudes was there just looking for somebody to have sex with. The females was there just looking to be in competition with the next female and see who can clap their behinds fastest and who could show the most cleavage and who could have, you know, who could twerk the best. Everybody was in that lower level energy of ego, lust, self-gratification, jealousy, you know, that type of energy. And so I was there and I was just like, man, I remember just sitting there thinking, I never fit in with these types of people. I never fit in really with anybody. I always felt like the outsider. And even when I did go to like these types of functions, alcohol never felt good in my bloodstream. It always made me feel very weird. And so I would try to drink, but like after a couple of drinks, I would start feeling nauseous. My blood would start feeling warm. I just never felt good with alcohol. And so even in those moments in the 3D, in real life, when I would try to fit in or to get a little bit more inebriated so that I could just allow myself to relax, because everybody wants to tell you that when you're different, you're uptight. I still was never to really fit in. I always felt inauthentic to my nature. So in the dream, I was watching them and I was thinking like, man, I never fit in with these people because these are not, we're not cut from the same cloth. We're not the same. We're completely different. And so I ended up waking up from that dream. And when I woke up from the dream, I felt very emotional. I actually shed a few tears because it took me back into remembrance of all of those moments throughout my entire life since I was a little kid, remembering how everybody had their clique. Everybody had their group, but I never felt like I could fit in. I always was the loner. And I feel that many of you can attest to this as the chosen seeds, the 144,000. We was always different, always the loner, always ostracized, always looked at as being the black sheep, never good enough to other people, or some people might have said you was stuck up or that you was, you know, I thought I was shy for many years of my life. And it wasn't the fact that I was shy. It was more so the fact that I was just different. And even though I don't know half of the things that I know today, I still knew that the conversations that most people was having, it was never something that I could relate to. You see what I'm saying? I could never sit around and have a full out conversation about Lil Wayne or, whatever was going on back then. I just didn't know anything about these things because it was never something that drew my interest like that. And so, all of this came together. I was able to put all of this together to realize that the Most High preserved us because we are not of this world. We are not of this world. We was never meant to fit in. We was never meant to blend in. We was always meant to be preserved and set aside and pretty much protected from those type of energies to keep them from penetrating into our identity so deep that it would take a whole lot of work to pretty much pull us out of a false identity or a false illusion of who we were. We had to be set aside and preserved. We had to be the loners. We had to be the ones that was different, because in this time of awakening, now we're able to be the rebels. We're able to release ourselves and to free ourselves from those types of people and from outside influences, from political structures, from religious structures, all of these different things. We're able to release ourselves so much more easily because we've always been accustomed to being the one that was set aside. We've always been accustomed to being the one that was different and looked at as being different. And so it was meant for it to play out this way. And I had, waking up, I had so much more of an appreciation for the fact that I was not so easily manipulated and drawn into these different people and these bad relationships, or even those who did not appreciate me for who I was, like those who had egos, like the guy in a pizza restaurant. He couldn't even appreciate the fact that I was coming to him with a sincere desire to show him something to help bring balance or restore balance into his own life. The police officer was a prime example of how even when it comes to the judicial system and the way things are set up, they have it against us as well. Okay? In all ways, shapes, or forms, we always ran into some sort of roadblock or some sort of person that would remind us of the fact that we was different. Remind us of the fact that, they was repelled by our spirits, because we, even back then, before our lights began to shine the way they're shining today, we still was glowing. We still put off this energy that where people knew that we was different. We just didn't know who we were. We knew that we was different, but we didn't know what different meant. We thought different meant we just can't fit in. We just can't vibe, and where's the real friends at? Or you might have had one or two friends. But for me, I even found that the one or two friends that I had, now that I'm like, the veil has been fully lifted from my eyes, I had to release them as well. Because I found that those were people that was clinging to my energy, and they never fully had an appreciation for who I am. They were still harboring envy and jealousy in their heart. If you go back and check out my prior video, I spoke about a dream that I had about an old friend who truly was envious of me in that way. And we got into it a few times, and she admitted to the fact that she was envious of me, but would go back into the same behavior patterns. And this is like a 20-year span of me holding on to that relationship, knowing that it was toxic, knowing that I needed to release it, until finally I started outgrowing it so much. I started vibrating so high. It was like I just completely cut it off. I gave a notice, because I did give her, I was trying to encourage her to become a better person, encourage her to awaken to the things that was happening around us, but she did not want to hear. And so she remained in that energy of jealousy and constantly trying to belittle my knowledge. And so I just cut her off. I blocked her completely without notice. But technically she got notice over the 20-year span of being friends, because it was too many incidents that led up to that. And so all of this that I just said, y'all, I say that to say, we're taking a leap of faith into a new direction, and it's time for us to begin to manifest a new beginning for ourselves. And we're starting to see that we have what it takes to become the co-creator of our lives. But I feel like a lot of you are very stuck, because I found myself in that space, but I've learned how to alchemize the energy. I believe that we're all in that place of learning how to alchemize negative energy and to create peace for ourselves in spite of the outside external influences. But I feel like you might be stuck in your head right now because there's so many changes that's happening. There's so many messages and uploads that's coming in for the chosen seed right now, because the energetic frequency surrounding us, everything is vibrating so much higher because the planetary alignment is so much closer to the sun, and so the earth itself is vibrating at a higher frequency. And so we got, naturally, because we are the chosen seeds, we are the light. We are receiving all of these messages that's coming in to reawaken us and to remind us of who we were, who we are, and what we were sent here to do. Okay, and so it's causing many of us to feel very mentally trapped, or to feel that, okay, we're taking this leap of faith and we're doing this alone. We're gaining all of these messages, but we understand that the messages that we're gaining is the truth. You see what I'm saying? And it's on a mathematical scale. It's on a metaphysical scale. It's on a spiritual level. Your connection to the Most High, like everything that's coming in is all starting to make sense. And you're starting to see the connections that you've been investing in and the relationships that you've been dealing in. It really was not stable. It was not solid. It was very unhealthy connections. And so I feel that there is like a lot of forward movement for the collective right now in terms of moving towards a new beginning, moving towards new love, divine partnerships. Like I mentioned before, the 144,000, there is 72,000 men and 72,000 women that's involved in that number of 144,000. And we are to come together to create a divine connection between the masculine and the feminine energy in order to bring balance, to restore balance to the entire humanity and the universe. Okay, and I feel like many of us are coming into that awakening to see what our purpose is. And so I'm going to pull just a few cards because it's already been so far into the message, but I just want to do this as clarity. Someone is at a crossroads, not seeing clearly, not wanting to face the reality, and guarding their emotions. Once the blindfold is removed, a sound decision can be made. Avoiding your emotions or the truth will only cause stagnation. So there's something about you being at a crossroads right now. The collective is at a crossroads right now in terms of the decision or in terms of which direction you're supposed to be going in. And I feel it's only because you know that major changes are happening, but we're not 100% sure as to where these changes are taking us. Like, we know internally we are changing so much that even the people that we had in our personal circle, they're looking at us weird. They're looking at us as if, we've lost our last damn mind. But it's only because they are not receiving the messages. They are not able to see things the way that we see things, because it wasn't purpose for them to see it. It's purpose for us, because we are here to be the messengers. Whatever your gift is, right now is the time to be molding that gift, nurturing that gift, and preparing for it to be birthed to the world. And so I feel like right now the collective is at a crossroads right now where it's something that you're not seeing clearly. And because you're not able to see it clearly, you're not able to make a solid decision in terms of which way to go. This can be in terms of career, in terms of your love life, in terms of friendships. There's something that you have maybe had a blindfold, you purposely had a blindfold over your eyes for a while because you didn't want to have to see the reality of it. But now you're really stuck in your head about this situation. And so I feel that you need to draw in on your intuitive wisdom. All of those messages that's coming in is telling you what this illusion is, what this matrix is all about. You need to draw in on that wisdom that's coming in so that you can make a clear-cut decision and use that double-edged sword to cut out people, places, and things that no longer serve you in your forward movement. This says, good things comes to those who wait. Do not focus on the time it takes, but rather focus on each brick placed to ensure a strong foundation. Someone is slow to commit. Maybe financial stability is slow to come in, but rest assured, with perseverance, you will have stability long term. So that's definitely showing me that, you've been investing, you've been planting seeds, and you've been planting seeds all of your life. The collective, we've been planting good seeds all of our lives, and we've been waiting for this harvest to come in because we know that it's well deserved. We've persevered through the pain. We went through the fire. We made sacrifices by turning away from things that no longer served us, addictions, bad habits, bad people, bad relationships. We did these things in spite of the fact that we knew it was going to place us in a space where we felt even more alone for a time. But now, good things are coming to you because you've been patiently waiting. So do not focus on how much time is taken for whatever it is that you've been working on, or the gift that's being built inside of you to come forward. Don't focus on how much time is taken. Just focus on creating a solid foundation by placing one brick at a time. And the more precise you are with placing those bricks determines how strong that structure is going to be. We are collectively coming together to create a structure that's going to be solid and stable, one that's built on righteous judgment. Okay, justice and righteous judgment by the Most High God. He's showing us how to create this new structure because the current one is getting ready to come down. So who do you think is going to have to create the actual structure? The 144,000 that's being prepared for our mission. This is why we are in this time of awakening. We are being prepared because we are going to be the ones at the forefront creating the structure. And it doesn't matter how slow it seems to be moving, how small things are. Because like for me, for instance, my channel is very small. Things are moving slow. And I can just be transparent. Sometimes it can get, a little bit discouraging. But the one thing that I never forget is the fact that this is not about me. This is about building a structure. And so if my message only reaches one person who is a part of the 144,000 and it helps to awaken them, or it helps to lead them further down their journey where they're no longer discouraged, or they're being given some enlightenment that's going to help empower them, then that lets me know that I have done my job. Come on now, we're talking about 144,000. So if you are out there you're in your position of awakening those who are part of this body, don't get discouraged in terms of how many are cheering you on or how many people are in agreement to what you're saying, because consider the fact that the 144,000, we take the road less traveled and narrow is the way for us. You see what I'm saying? And also keep in mind that if you reference biblical texts, because I do believe in Yeshua, I believe in Christ. I believe that we are all awakening to our Christ consciousness. We are, as the 144,000, we are that body that the Bible spoke of in terms of being the body, okay, of Christ and bringing forth this light to the world. So in our Christ consciousness, understand that the sacrifice that Christ had to make in order to bring that message back then, he was ostracized. He was told that he was crazy. He was looked down at by the people in his family because they said, who are you as a carpenter's son to think that you could stand before the people and say that you're a healer, or that you're special, or that you're chosen? This is the position that we face right now as we awaken into our Christ consciousness and as that light within us begins to shine, and for the world to see. But what happens is the head is going to become the tail, and the tail is going to become the head. Okay? Understand this. We was put on the back burner. We was set aside. We was preserved by the Most High because he had a greater assignment for us. But we was pushed off into the shadows by our family and by those people that were supposed to love us, because their assignment was to make us feel as if we was nobody. You see what I'm saying? We're starting to wake up to the fact that many of the people that was in your family actually came here as part of the agenda. Okay, these are souls that came here as part of the agenda to actually keep the veil over your eyes and to cause traumatic situations. Because trust and believe, the 144,000 of stories that we got to tell, this ain't it's not going to be no silver spoon, and we had the perfect, mother and father, and I never had any issues. No, the 144,000 have a strong and a powerful testimony. And this testimony, this is the reason why many people are not able to accept the fact that you are the chosen one. Because they look at your circumstances, and they look where you came from, and they look at what you've been through, and they look at, who you used to be. And they want to try to use that against you and say, well, no, that there's no way that you're being molded, and there's no way that you're blossoming into this new creature that's here to actually change and restructure the world. That's a strong assignment. But only the strong are the ones that survive. And so we had to go through a lot so that we're able to relate in so many different ways to people, and so that we're able to see things from a higher level of consciousness. And so you're waking up to the fact that many of your family, many of your friends was here to sell you out. there's a specific video that I'm going to be doing after this one in regards to the chosen seed and how they wanted to sell our souls. Okay, I don't know if you know, if you know anything about that, leave a comment down below. But they wanted to sell our souls, so I definitely want to do a message in regards to that, because I did it before on my Facebook Live a few months ago. The message came to me, and I definitely want to present that here on YouTube so that I can reach a broader audience in terms of the 144,000, because it's time for these messages to come forward. This says someone wants to rush in and communicate. It may be aggressive and harsh, but potentially true in nature. Rushing thoughts, so much to say, and feeling like time is running out. So you're going to have people that come rushing towards you because they feel, they can tell that you're getting ready to take the leap of faith into a new direction. They can tell that the karmic wheel is spinning and that destiny says that it's time for you to move away from them and move into a new direction. And so you're going to have people that come rushing into your life to try to wreak havoc over your life, or that try to come forward and say, well, I'm coming in to bring you the truth. Don't act like I'm not telling you the truth. Yeah, you used to be XYZ. Yeah, I remember when you did this and when you did that, or, you know, and they're going to try to remind you of who you used to be. They're going to try to bring you back and take you back to who you used to be, so that you'll go back into that energy of shame and guilt. And I strongly feel that that's what my dream was all about, because it was like people were doing things to try and incite a certain emotion from me. But the dream, like I said, it was structured in a way where it was giving me the opportunity to utilize the tools that I have now to deal with those same types of situations that I had back then. You see what I'm saying? Rather than allowing the enemy to come in and use these people as puppets to try to deter me, or to make me feel angry or aggressive all over again, or to make me feel as if I'm not good enough all over again, I stood up for myself in a way where I didn't accept the energy. I transmuted the energy. I alchemized the energy, and I turned it into what was going to allow me to stay in balance, and what was going to allow them to have to take a look at themselves and to receive righteous judgment on a different scale. I didn't try to assert righteous judgment on my own. I allowed the situation to play out, and I still handled it from a space of love and from peace, because that's the only thing that I knew how to project in that dream. You see what I'm saying? But because of who I used to be, the old person that I used to be, you're going to have people that come in that remember who you used to be, and they're going to try to be confrontational with you. They're going to try to start arguments with you, and they're going to try to remind you of the things that you might have done, or the things that you might have accepted or allowed other people to do to you in your past. And they're going to try to use that to incite guilt and shame over your head, to keep you from taking this leap of faith forward, to keep you from being able to see past the veil, because they want to put you back to sleep. That's the whole agenda here. You see what I'm saying? And so you stay in your strength. Continue to move forward. Do not allow anybody, I don't care how long you've known them, I don't care if they blood on top of blood on top of blood, whoever it is that you need to release, let them go. Because this is deeper. This is not about them. This is about our mission. Okay, you cannot let anybody deter you from that. You're going to be moving towards your divine partnership. You're going to be moving towards the tribe, the people that you're supposed to be around, that's going to help build you up, and that you're going to help build them up. And we're going to all work together collectively to do something great for this universe, okay, for humanity. This says, not everyday love language is communicated through spoken word, but it does not discount the love they feel within. Someone loves you. Someone has lots of love and is emotionally available. They listen to their intuition and express gratitude through their actions. So this indicates that you can have someone also that's getting ready to come towards you once you release yourself from the past, because many of you have to release yourself from karmic relationships. A lot of the chosen seeds ended up getting married to narcissists, people who only came in to suck, so, to drain their energy. Okay, you have those types of spirits that come in to drain your energy and to keep you in this low vibrational state, because they're very low vibrational. Many of us have woken up to the fact that we was in karmic relationships that was only there to strengthen us and to teach us lessons. And so now you're probably facing at that crossroads. You might be in a position where you have to decide between staying with an old karmic situation or moving towards a new beginning with someone who's more aligned with you vibrationally and spiritually. And so there is someone that has a lot of love for you that will be coming towards you to offer their love. And so, like I said, we will be going towards our divine partnerships. There's no need for you to be worried about that. Don't allow your ego to get into the way of moving forward, because sometimes the ego, in my dream, when that woman came up and she was hugging on this guy that I was with, she tried to go for my ego. She tried to see if what she said, as far as, oh, well, you're not second best, if that would actually trigger me and make me wonder if, well, am I second best? You know what I'm saying? She tried to trigger me in that way, but I'm just grateful that even in the dream, I was establishing more balance. And that's another thing I want to mention before I look at this card here. Well, let me just read this. Someone wants to express their feelings or apologize. It may be unexpected. Allow your ability to discern one's sincerity before opening yourself up. Allow your ability to discern one's sincerity before opening yourself up. So you want to make sure that you use your level of discernment in terms of how sincere these apologies are, because you will have people coming towards you that will be offering up apologies, because they know that they've done you wrong, and they're starting to awaken to the fact that you are truly chosen, that you do have a very divine mission and purpose on this earth, and that they played a very karmic role in trying to keep you back or hold you down. Okay? Now, for some of you, you might actually have someone that you have met that wants to come in and express a sincere apology to you because they have true love for you. Okay? But you have to use your level of discernment. And I'm trying to think what I wanted to say in regards to the dream, but I guess it'll come back to me if it's supposed to. So yeah, a new, solid, stable opportunity will present itself. You've been patient and it's coming in. You've been patient and praying for this reward. Receive your blessings. You earned it. So yes, a new, solid, and stable offer is coming in. And I feel like for many of you, this is concerning love, but this can also be concerning your career path, your purpose. Somebody is going to come in and offer you something that's going to be very stable and solid, that's going to bring stability here. So we got many blessings that's coming in for the chosen seed. So there's no need to worry. Just come out of that energy of being at a crossroads and just take the leap of faith forward. Don't allow the past or your ego to hold you back from moving towards your destiny, because when you make the sacrifice to leave behind those things that no longer serve you, you are telling the Most High, and you are giving a direct message to the universe that you are freeing your hands of all things that held you down to receive those things that are going to lift you up. That's what you're telling the universe. You are willing to sacrifice those things that was stroking, that only kept your ego excited, I guess you could say, to a degree, because many of the relationships that you had, you only held on because your ego said, well, I invested this much time, this much energy, this much love, this much money, and so I can't let it go. But you have to know that the times that we're in, we can't afford to hold on to low vibrational energy that's going to continue to drain you, and that has ulterior motives, because it's bigger than that. It's not just what you see in the 3D. This is in the spiritual realm. Their purpose in your life is not good. It's actually a wicked purpose that they have for you, especially if these are people that are actively abusing you, mistreating you, cheating on you, belittling you, shaming you, creating traumas in your life, people that might have done things to you in your childhood. These are the people that you have to be okay with releasing. You see what I'm saying? Don't allow your emotions to get the best of you in those situations. This says good memory and nostalgia and happy times with someone may be on your mind right now. Good thoughts and memories attract more good memories. Don't just stay stuck in your past perception of others, okay? Just don't stay stuck in your past perception of others. And so you might be doing a lot of thinking back to your childhood, doing a lot of reminiscing, or maybe thinking about somebody from your past. And so you want to make sure that you stay focused on the positive memories, though. When you're thinking about your past, I had to redirect my focus when I woke up, because the tears that came out of my eyes, part of it was pain, because it made me, in that dream, I felt the same feeling that I experienced in that relationship where, it was constant abuse and constant gaslighting, constant narcissist behavior. And it made me feel that all over again. And I had to acknowledge the fact that how grateful I am that I'm no longer in that situation, and how grateful I am that I was able to heal from it and to grow from it to the degree where I'm able to talk to other people about those types of situations and motivate them on releasing themselves from those types of relationships. And so instead of going back and thinking about the past and trying to recall all of the times that I was hurt and all of the times that I was, traumatized or manipulated, I'm able to go back into my past and think about the good memories if I choose to think about the past. You see what I'm saying? Versus allowing those things to weigh me down. And so this also says integrity always wins. Where there may have been a lack of integrity, justice is at play to balance that out. Justice is being served in the situation. Karmic justice is at hand. The scales will be balanced. Okay? And so that's what I was just telling you. You don't have to exact any type of justice over anyone. The most that you need to do in terms of balancing out the scales is to make it known to the Most High that he already knows that you've dealt with an unjustified situation, but make it known. I pray that, righteous judgment is established over this situation, and you leave it alone. I'm coming before you, Father Yah, because that's what I call him, Father Yah, to pray that righteous judgment is established over the situation. That's it. And he takes care of the rest. He'll send your holy angels, your whole spiritual team, ancestors of love and light, whoever it is he needs to gather up in order to create justice or judgment over the heads of those people who try to manipulate you, who wanted to harm you, who tried to bring you down to the lowest of the low. All you got to do is speak it out and let him know, hey, I'm looking to you to establish righteous judgment over this situation. And then you keep it moving, you keep evolving, you keep growing, you stay happy, you stay at peace, you stay balanced. That's how you establish justice and judgment over a situation, by allowing the Most High to be the judge of all judges. You see what I'm saying? So let me see. I'm going to pull one more card from this deck, and then I'm going to move on here, and I'm going to be closing out soon. Block out any unnecessary people attached to your social media or social circle, especially those known to gossip. Immature people are studying and watching you very closely. Give them something to talk about and keep shining. And that's what I was just saying, as far as not trying to establish any judgment or justice over nobody. Just block them. You see what I'm saying? Release yourself from these people, whether it be through your social media. When you go down your timeline, people need to understand that, especially platforms such as Facebook, it has the ability to shift your energy. You can look at one post and somebody will say something that's very uplifting and motivational. Then you can move down to the next post and suddenly they put up a video of somebody getting shot and killed. That's completely shifted your energy. Then you can go to the next post and you got somebody that's cursing out this, that, and the third, or this person is always saying something negative, always got something to say. And this could be somebody that's directly attached to you that might just be throwing indirect subliminal messages in your direction just to try to get you worked up, or to try to get you thinking, are they talking about me? Just to lower your vibrational energy. And so if you know this, when you detect these people, block them right away. Don't allow yourself to be filled with this type of energy, whether it's in your personal space or through social media. You want to make sure that you purge all people, places, and things that do not serve your highest good. Because right now, we have to stay in the energy of vibrating high with the energies that's surrounding us. We cannot afford to go backwards and to go into an energy of anger, aggression, shame, guilt, bitterness. We can't afford to do that right now. And so this is why so many sacrifices are having to be made. But the sacrifices ultimately is going to help you. It's going to help you, and it's going to allow you to maintain that peace within. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to pull from this deck. See if there's any other messages here. You are chosen for this path. Keep going. Okay? You're chosen for this path. So don't let nobody stop you. Don't let the obstacles, because sometimes we can be our own blockage. You see what I'm saying? Don't become your own blockage. Continue to move forward. You was chosen for this. So there's no way the only mistake that you would make is to go back to the past because your ego tells you that you can't leave a person behind even though you know that they're not healthy for you. You know that they don't have it out as far as your best intentions, but you continue to hold on anyway out of a sense of loyalty because of time, because of energy exerted into the situation, because of money spent on the situation. But if it's not for you, take the leap of faith and do it fearlessly, because when you actually go with what your heart tells you to do out of a space of love, though, you are guaranteed to land exactly where you belong, because now you are releasing control of the situation and you are allowing things to happen. You trust in the Most High, and you trust in that if I trust you enough, you told me that this is my path. You told me that I'm chosen. I know that I'm chosen. I can feel it. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm chosen for this path and that I'm supposed to be doing something great. If your intuition tells you that that job that you go to where you got that boss that's constantly nagging at you, constantly trying to do various things to cause slip-ups for you, you know, or those co-workers that's constantly gossiping, or you just in that energy where you just don't like what you do because it's something that does not resonate with your spirit, then it's time for you to trust your intuition and walk into the direction that you know you are being divinely guided to walk into. If you was guided to begin a business and some part of you is saying, well, if I leave that job though, how am I going to maintain my ends? You can't walk into this journey with that type of attitude. You got to go into it knowing my account, my spiritual account reads infinite abundance. There's no such thing as lack in my life. Everything that I need, everything that I want, everything that I desire is going to be given to me in divine time and exactly when it's needed. And there's always going to be an overflow. There will never be a shortage. You got to continue to pour into yourself. That's why it's so important to release all of those negative energies, naysayers, and all of that. You got to get rid of these types of people from your life, because they will put an energy into your mind that will make you further perpetuate those thoughts that will make you think that you have to be in survival mode. We're not here to just be in survival mode. We did enough of that. Now we're in this energy where we are supposed to be thriving, understanding. Come on now. If you know that you're a child and that you are a chosen seed, then you know that there's no way that you can fail. Knowing that you are a chosen seed and a child of the Most High God with a divine purpose, you know that there's no way that you can fail. So you have to be strong enough to take the leap of faith and be okay with the changes that have to occur in order for you to do that. Because I'm here to be a living witness. I worked as a registered nurse for 5 years, and I've told this a couple of times before, but I'm going to continue to tell it because I need the message to get out there. I made a huge sacrifice in my life, and largely the sacrifice was due to the Most High saying, okay, I'm about to cause a tower moment in your life to where you ain't got no choice but to sit down. And that's what happened. Like literally, I was in that same relationship that I was telling y'all about that was in my dream, and it was just so bad. Like the last about 4 years, about 3-4 years, it was just so bad. And I remember praying to the Most High about 1.5 years ago, and I said, you know, I'm just ready to get out of the situation. Whatever needs to happen, I'm just ready to get out of the situation. I'm tired. And I was crying. The tears were pouring down my eyes. And not too long after that, this man ended up going out doing some things he didn't have no business doing. And he tried to beat up on me before the situation closed out, but I stood in my strength. It was something I was becoming more and more empowered as I was awakening to who I am. And so I ended up in a position where I was able to take myself, and I have 6 children. I was able to take myself and my children, got in my car, drove way, to the location that I'm at now, but in a totally different state from where he's at. And his karma is that he ended up in a position that he doesn't want to be in. You see what I'm saying? But he's receiving his karmic justice for the things that he did to me, because my heart would not allow me to put him in a position where I established any justice on him myself. You see what I'm saying? And so now he's being dealt the righteous judgment that had to be over his head for the things that he tried to do to me. But when I got here to the state that I'm in now, COVID happened, right? And so everything ended up shut down. And I'm telling y'all, I ended up losing my state ID right when I got here. I couldn't do nothing. And I applied for my state ID 5 times, because remember, I left from one state and came to another state. And so with everything being shut down, the only way that I could apply for my ID was to send them, information through the mail to try to get another one sent to me. 5 different times these people kept messing up. They were sending it to the wrong address. They was telling me that they never received the information. I'm talking about every situation, every scenario you could think of. It sat me down literally for almost a year with no ID. So all that time, I was like, man, I need to go back to work. I need to get my nurse's license going. I need to, I had already gotten it registered in the state that I'm in now. And I was prepared to work, but I couldn't do anything without a state ID, because there's certain documentation. You have to have your ID in order to get the background check and the fingerprints and all of that stuff for them to approve you as a licensed nurse in another state. And so during that time, I was receiving all of these messages, and I was healing. I was starting to face myself. I was placed into a position where, man, one of these days I'm going to do a whole video in terms of where I came from and how I ended up where I'm at now. But I say all of that to say, moving on, fast forward a year and some change since then, this is where I'm at. I'm sitting in my divine purpose. I'm speaking out. I'm opening up, and I'm being a vessel so that I can help to awaken or to help guide the chosen seed down their divine path. You see what I'm saying? And I can attest to the fact that the Most High has covered me. I came out here with nothing, y'all. I had enough money for gas, and that's it. Okay? I had enough money for gas to get here, and that's it. Everything else that I have needed, I haven't worked for over a year. Like, I'm talking about 9 to 5 type work in the field of nursing. And I'm so blessed that I was removed from that, because now they have so many places that's trying to mandate the vaccination. And to be honest with you, had I not awakened to my divine purpose, part of my ego, if I was in my ego and very attached to my position as a registered nurse, I probably would have gotten the vaccination in order to maintain my career status. Because you're talking about walking away from $45, $50 an hour. You see what I'm saying? To in order to maintain a career path. You see what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people will make that sacrifice not knowing what they're getting themselves into, because it's all about maintaining the dollar. It's all about being able to pay the bills. It's all about maintaining the status. You see what I'm saying? And so I never wore my nursing license as my crown. I never saw it as being something that made me better or something that I needed to brag about. Matter of fact, the last couple of years of being a nurse, I started pulling away from it, because I started to see how corrupt the system was. I'm talking about writing prescriptions for people, things that they didn't even need. Or as soon as they have this symptom, I'm calling the doctor to get another prescription to take care of the symptoms that they haven't from the last doggone medication. They're still on that medication that's giving them the jacked up symptoms. But now I got to call to give them another chemical to take care of the symptoms of that medication. It was just an ongoing domino effect, hamster wheel of just straight. It was just bad, okay? And I can say that, and I can attest to that from a level of truth. You see what I'm saying? Maybe other nurses, they might not want to say that. Many of them will not want to admit to that, because, they're very loyal to their position, okay? And a lot of people want to believe that they're doing something good for humanity. But in fact, when you see it up close and personal, or even for you, if you have family members who are having to take multiple drugs, they got a cabinet with 20 different medications that they're taking, and they still in bad health. They're still in bad shape. You see what I'm saying? That speaks volumes right there. The system was not created. It was not structured to keep people in good health. But that's another doggone message for another time. We got so many things to talk about, y'all. But you was chosen for this path, so you got to keep going. Don't be afraid. Don't be at a crossroads. Make the decision and make the move. All you got to do is take the first step. And I promise you, based on my own testimony, that the Most High is going to take care of his children. You a chosen seed. You a divine being. You was put here for a divine purpose. So just know it's time for us to move into our purpose. And this is why you at this crossroads where you wonder, should I walk away from this person that's been hurting me all this time? Is there better out here for me? I know my heart is telling me to move. I'm receiving all of these messages that's showing me what this matrix is. Is it time? Yes, it's time. I'm here to tell you it's time. Take the leap of faith and move forward. Um, that's too many cards, y'all. Let me do this again. Look at this. Your intuition is extremely keen and on point. Listen to it now. That's what it says. Okay? Your intuition is extremely keen and on point. Listen to it now. If your intuition is telling you that it's time for you to leave that career, it's time for you to leave that relationship, it's time for you to walk away from that friendship, it's time for you to delete those people on your Facebook account, you better go ahead and do it. Because the longer it takes for you to take that leap, even though you're receiving the messages that it's time, the more lessons that are going to have to come in that's going to guide you into that direction anyway. Or you might just have a tower moment that tears down the entire structure of that bad marriage to ship you up out of there, even because you was holding on so tightly to it. It was like the Most High said, okay, I'm just going to come in and strike it down. Because you're not going to take... you're not going to make the sacrifice. You're not going to take the leap of faith to do it on your own. So I'm gonna just have to shut it down. And that's where it can become hard if he has to come in and just take it from you. You see what I'm saying? But that's how we are. That's just how we are with our children. You see what I'm saying? If we tell them certain things and we giving them a certain message and they want to continue, maybe even let's just say they had a bad friendship, right? And this person is, constantly being a very negative influence on them. And they constantly, going out there, getting into trouble with this person. And you warning them like, look, I told you don't go out with so-and-so and so-and-so. Then you have to do something drastic. You have to take a drastic measure to strip that thing apart in order for them to release themselves from something that could have actually caused them more demise or more pain. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm going to take one more card, y'all, and I'm going to close out. We'll see what's the message for the road here. I hope that you all was able to receive something from this and that I was able to help further guide you down your path. Don't be afraid to take that leap of faith. Don't be afraid to go ahead and do what you're being called to do. Hold on. The last message just flew across the room, so let's see what it is. It says, no, you're not going crazy. Get grounded. You need stability during this transformation. So if you thought you was going crazy all up in your head, you got all these messages that's coming in that's telling you it's time for you to go and do this. And you're like, hold on now. This is not something that I ever would have anticipated. You're not going crazy. Get grounded. Stabilize yourself. Okay. Get back out into nature. Continue to stay grounded and at peace within, because you're going to need it, because life is transforming. Whether you're ready for it or not, the wheel is turning. The wheel of destiny is turning, but it's turning in your favor. And so either you're going to willingly release these things from your life that you no longer need, or it's going to be a tower that comes in that shuts it down. But you're not going crazy. So get out of that energy of being at a crossroads in terms of which direction you should go, because your inner voice, your intuition has been telling you which way to go. You've been receiving the messages. So here I am, here is another confirmation to you as a vessel to help bring that information to you. So I love y'all, and I'll talk to you all next time.